Hey, what is going on, guys? This is your boy Pat. In today's video, I'm going to be going through kind of step by step what is a PBN and how to set it up if you decide to go the PBN route, right? Now, starting off, a PBN, right? What exactly is it? So let me go into my slide that I made. So what is a PBN, right? So a PBN is a private blog network. It's basically just a technique that many SEOs use in order to influence the rankings on the search engines, right? Now, this tactic is basically creating a separate website of your own for the sole purpose of it linking back to your website for whatever keyword or key phrase you want to rank for, right? Now, does everybody use PBNs? For the most part, yes, and those SEOs that deny it. But if you look into any industry, especially some of the more competitive industries, everybody at the top, I can assure you, is using a private blog network. That's just the reality of the fact, right? So if you are in one of those competitive niches or a competitive city, then having a private blog network might be something that you will need to utilize if you do want to get those page one rankings, right? Now, if you are in a easier niche or a smaller city, building out several of these PBNs is probably not going to be much use, especially since it's not that difficult to rank in these smaller areas, right? So you want to be strategic when and where you want to use a PBN, right? You don't want to use this if you don't have to, simply because a PBN is against the Google guidelines, and if you do get caught by doing it the wrong way, you can risk getting a manual penalty put on your website, right? So now that we know what is a PBN, let's talk about, do they still work in 2020, right? This is a very old SEO technique. It's nothing new, but yes, they still work. Everybody is using them, right? So they still are very effective in these more competitive niches. And if you are in a competitive town, then you probably will have to use a private blog network, right? So when going out to build your own private blog network, you really have two routes. Either one, you can pay somebody, or two, you go out and do it yourself, right? Now, you have to know how to do it yourself. You need to know how to properly set it up yourself, because if you do anything wrong, you could again get a penalty from Google if you do things wrong. And then on the other side, you will have to pay a premium, right? It's going to be more expensive if you go out and pay someone to build it for you and to set it up for you, but it is an option. Now, I understand that people are on budgets, which is why I'm going to be explaining in this video how you can actually buy an expired domain and set it up yourself, right? If you do decide to build it out yourself, then you first will have to look for an expired domain, right? Now, people use these expired domains as a PBN because usually, some of them will have that domain authority because they have, they have years and years of age that has been building up on that domain, which is increasing the overall authority of that particular domain. And then the other thing is sometimes they come with a backlink profile, right? Now, the downside of this is that sometimes they do have a high level of spam score. They might have a previous penalty put on them. You want to make sure you go and check, things like their past content, their link profile, and their domain authority. And to check what the actual website used to actually look like, you can use a website called Wayback Machine. It lets you look at what that website or a page used to look like in the past, right? And then you obviously want to make sure you check all the other things using, different SEO tools. I believe you can either use Majestic or Ahrefs to check some of these. And then, of course, if you do want to buy an expired domain, you'd want to go to a expired domain registry such as expireddomains.net, GoDaddy Auctions, Namecheap Auctions, and there's many other ones. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of going through the metrics, checking for the spam score, going through the Wayback Machine, checking out the content, then you can just buy it made, right? So there's people that actually go out, do the research for you, get the best domain, get a decent metric, and will actually sell it to you for a certain price, right? Now, you can either, one, pay for someone to go out and find a expired domain for you, Or you can go out, find an expired domain yourself and pay someone to set it up, right? You would only pay for the domain and the hosting, and then you pay someone to set up the actual website. Or you just pay someone altogether to do every one of these steps, right? And you can either go to Legit or Conquer. If you go over to, I believe Legit, you can go into SEO, and then you can either go into PBN domains, right? If you want to hire someone to look for, expired domains, you can see here, highly aged expired domains. So these are people that just do all the research for you and find the best possible expired domain for your particular niche or industry. Then the other option would be going to PBN creation. Now these are the people that will actually build the actual PBN website for you. You just have to provide them with the domain name and the hosting, and they take care of the rest, right? Now, I'm not recommending anybody in particular, so if you do decide to go this route, make sure you do your research and look at the reviews before you buy anything and ask them questions if you do. Other market would be Conquer. Same thing on this site. You have the PBN creation. You don't want to go to PBN links. So PBN links is just basically a guest post on a PBN site, but you can't really control the other content that goes on those websites, which is why it can be helpful for you to actually get your own PBN, where you can have full control over what type of content goes on there, who are you linking out to, and you get better results by having your own PBN, right? Those are two websites that you can look through, and again, I'm not affiliated with any of these, so do your own research if you decide to go through the paid route. I will say that you will save a lot of time and a lot of hassle by just going ahead and pay for it if you have the money to do it. If not, I'm about to get right into the steps that you need to take in order to build it yourself, right? Okay, so now you have your expired domain. Now it's time to set up your actual website, right? And to set up a website, obviously, you're going to need a hosting service such as HostGator, SiteGround, Bluehost. There's many companies out there. Just look for one that fits in your budget and whatever other kind of services you need, right, for your hosting service. And you're going to want to connect your hosting with your domain name, and that usually implies taking the name servers and just copying and pasting them on your domain wherever you buy your domain, right? And then after you connect your domain with your hosting website, you're going to want to go ahead and install WordPress. I always recommend to go with WordPress because it is easiest and it is the most SEO friendly, right? And then you want to set up your email, address, and phone number, because we want to make this PBN look as realistic as possible, right? You don't want to build a very low quality PBN because Google is going to catch on to those really quickly. So you want to make it look as authentic and as realistic as possible, which is why you want to set up an email with whatever hosting provider you have. They usually give you one for free with the hosting service. And then just other simple things you want to do, like create your logo. And then after you create your logo, you're going to want to set up your main pages, which include your home, about us, and a contact page, right? Again, you want to make it look natural. So building out these 3 pages once you first get started is very important. And then after that, go ahead and add your images and video just to give it that extra touch and make it look as legit as possible. And then, very important, down here I have if you're creating more than one PBN, right? Because sometimes a niche is very competitive and you're going to have to use several of these PBNs in order to get the rankings and results that you want. So you're going to want to use different servers and a different hosting company per PBN, right? So each PBN is going to have its own separate hosting company with separate accounts, right? You never want to use the same hosting service because it leaves a footprint that Google can catch on to, right? And of course, you want to make each one 100% unique, so use different themes and of course a different name. After you get phase 1 of your website complete, you then want to start moving into setting up your actual content, right? If we're creating a legit website, it needs to have content, and you usually want to build your content around whatever industry or niche you're in, right? Whatever keywords you want to rank for. So start off with 3 to 5 posts and then make sure they're unique content. Now you can get very cheap content off of Fiverr, anywhere from like $5 to $10 per article. It doesn't have to be great content again, right? We're not trying to rank our PBN, we're trying to rank our money site. Our money site's the one you're actually going to put your high quality content in. Your PBN can have cheap content and you're going to be perfectly fine as long as it's unique, right? And then you're going to want to build out these extra pages that's going to add that extra touch that's going to make it look even more legit, right? You're going to add your privacy policy and a disclaimer page, right? All these things are going to help disguise it as a actual legit business, right? So now that you've set up your content, it's time to do the actual linking, right? And this is what many people get wrong. So many people want to link out right away, but as you can see down here, you want to wait 2 to 3 weeks before linking out to your first post, right? And you don't want to link out to your main money site. You want to link out to an article on your main money site. And the way you do that is I have it structured right here. So we have our money site, right? And then these 3 are articles from our money site, right? Each of these have a different keyword that we want to rank for. Then we have PBN, we have PBN A, PBN B, PBN C. So we have 3 private blog networks in this example. Each of these private blog networks has a article on it, right? Post 1, post 2, post 3. But after you waited your 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to start off with one of these posts, right? So post 1, so this piece of article that's going to be about the same keyword that you want to rank for, right? You're going to link out to that article, right? Using the anchor text that you want to rank for. And then of course, in return, the link juice from the PBN is going to go to your money site article and is going to eventually pass on to your money site, right? Without actually linking to your money site. Same thing is going to go with the PBN blog post number 2. Going to link out another one of your articles using the keyword you want to rank for, and then the same would go for the PBN post number 3. You don't necessarily have to link out in this order. So post number 1 could be linking out to post number 2, post number 3 could be linking out to post number 1. But the point is that you don't want to point out to your money site at first. You want to make sure you point out to your articles that's going to help boost that relevancy and keyword that you want to rank for, right? And after you link out your PBNs to your articles, which are linking to your money site, you can then blast your PBNs with tier 2 links, right? These can be any type of links that you want. They're usually cheaper and low quality, and you want to point these at your PBNs, not at your money site, right? Now you don't have to do this step. If you see good results with just the PBNs, you should be fine. And again, this will vary on how hard your industry is and how many of your competitors are also using PBNs, right? So this is going to depend on a industry by industry basis on how many of these you need to build. Sometimes you only need 1, sometimes you need 5, sometimes you need 10. It just depends on your competitors, right? So this is pretty much everything you need to know on a private blog network. I didn't want to make it really long because this is really all the information that you need, right? So if you like this video, guys, leave me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It will really help me out continue making these SEO digital marketing videos, right? And if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to answer anything. And if you want to see anything in particular, also leave me a comment and I'll do my best to try to get to it. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.